Welcome to NAFSA 2016. My name is Dairo Moreno. I am president of Civitas Global Educational Services. And here are my distinguished colleagues from the University of Cienfuegos. Daini Diaz-Mederos, coordinator for academic programs at the Department of International Relations. Dr. Juan B. Cogollos, rector of the University of Cienfuegos. Lourdes Pomares Castellón, director of international relations. And Dictinho Diaz, professor of philosophy and coordinator of academic programs. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Dairo.
I wanted to start, can you tell us about the University of Cienfuegos?
Well, Cienfuegos University was founded in 1979, and now we have 37 years almost. Cienfuegos University was founded because the Cienfuegos city began to build several industries, and for that reason, we need to prepare the professionals that are going to work in that industry. And now, the University of Cienfuegos have 7 faculties: the Faculty of Economics, Engineering, Social Science, Physical Culture, Agrarian Science, Humanistic, and Pedagogical Science. We have 3,000 students in undergraduate programs and more than 5,000 in graduate studies.
Where does internationalization fit into the mission of the university?
Well, the Cienfuegos University has a relationship with more than 116 universities of all of the world. We also have students from 28 countries in our university. And also we have projects, networks, and other kind of international collaboration.
What is the experience of the University of Cienfuegos in terms of its international partnerships?
Realmente la universidad tiene establecido las relaciones internacionales con los países que el rector mencionó, entre los que se destaca fundamentalmente España, México, Ecuador, Colombia, y estamos trabajando con el objetivo de incrementar estas relaciones internacionales con el resto, o sea, con algunas universidades de los Estados Unidos, que es el principal motivo de estar nosotros acá en el Congreso de NAFSA, y estamos logrando en estos momentos intercambio aproximadamente con más de 50 académicos de todos los Estados Unidos.
What influenced the University of Cienfuegos to develop the Cuba Ties 2015 conference?
Well, in Cuba, the offices of international relations at the universities are small offices with no more than 3 persons. And we have been participating in all workshops related to international education in Havana. So we discovered 3 years that Cuban international administrators and professors in their international education and relationships had made a lot. We had some limitations to be visualized in the internet because of the blockade. So we decided that we should have a place and a space for socializing all the activities we have done and all the development we have achieved in international education, not only in Cienfuegos but in Cuba. So that's why it started.
Right. What were some of the reasons that motivated you to expand your relationship with U.S. institutions?
Well, this is easy to answer. The United States is the biggest country of the world. So even when we have a relation with 170 other universities and institutions, I think have links and have relation with the United States institutions and universities is something that we need to expand the knowledge of our faculties and students to develop new ties. And I think for the University of Cienfuegos is not only natural, but is also in need to have this kind of relations.
What were some of the highlights of your experience of Cuba Ties?
Bueno, pues pienso que lo más importante es las relaciones que se han creado después del evento que tuvimos en octubre del año pasado y las relaciones que se han ido creando con universidades de Argentina, España, y especialmente con los Estados Unidos. En estos momentos nuestros profesores tienen un constante intercambio con académicos de los Estados Unidos, lo que ha propiciado mayor información desde el punto de vista de la superación de nuestros profesores y el conocimiento desde el punto de vista de las relaciones que pueden establecerse con los profesores cubanos y los profesores de los Estados Unidos.
So what has changed at the University of Cienfuegos and in the higher education landscape since Cuba ties?
Now the higher education in Cuba is rebuilt because we need to stay at the same direction that the world stayed. For that reason, we change the programs of the curriculum programs. We change from 5 to 4 years curriculum of the careers, undergraduate careers. We merge universities, pedagogical universities and other universities, merge in each province. And also we change, for example, the necessity, to teach the form that we teach the English language in the university. And also there are other changes. Also, we, after the beginning of the normalization of the relationship between the United States and Cuba, we are receive so many professors from the United States and also some programs that with students and faculty from universities from the United States, and that is another change for the university because we are not we didn't use to do that kind of relation with the United States in that direction. With other countries, yes, but also when other countries see that the United States and Cuba try to normalize the relationship, so many persons for other countries try to contact with us, and that is another change that we have in the landscape of the higher education.
What opportunities would you like to be able to provide for your students and faculty in partnerships with the U.S. institutions?
Well, first of all, I think the opportunity to exchange points of view, knowledge, experience. For the students, it will be the second time in a decade to establish relations with students from the United States. We established a program with the University of Washington in Seattle during 3 years until 2006 till 2008, but the program stopped. And if this group of students come to our institution, I think it would be very happy for everyone because we can share the students maybe in both their directions. For our faculty, imagine we have in some faculties, technological or mechanical engineering, we need the assistance of institutions that have big laboratories to help us in our in researches and investigations. So it would be a huge opportunity for students and for faculty if this kind of relation can start.
What opportunities can a study abroad experience in Cuba provide for international students?
Maybe these opportunities that I told before are already set, but for example, we have students for another part of the world, 28 nationalities, different nationalities, from Africa, Asia, Latin America. So if somebody goes to Cuba, to our institution, not only can exchange with Cuban students, but also with this kind of students. We can provide high level of excellency in Spanish courses, and also in history, culture, religion, every aspect of the Cuban life and culture. But in other aspect of our faculties, in the accounting, the sport, that in Cuba we have high level of sport, health. So I think there are good opportunities to these international students if they come to Cienfuegos.
Also to be closely involved with the community that surrounds the university, like cultural institutions, historical, the office of the heritage at the province. And because in Cuba we have a system that one of the requirements of all the enterprises and other sectors is to cooperate directly with the university.
We have at the university more than 300 agreements with industries and study centers, associations to receive our students to practice there. So this is another opportunity for anyone to go to study in Cuba.
Well, the university seems to be leading the way in terms of universities outside of Havana having partnerships with U.S. universities.
Well, I would like to remind you that the first exchange between Cuba and USA started in Cienfuegos with the University of Harvard and the Botanical Garden. So that's the way we started leading this
1898.
Yes. But since we have mentioned before that apart from Havana, we were the other institution that started Spanish language courses. So there was a need also for not only American students but other international students to come to our university to learn this language. And we are a small-sized university, but we have been leading international collaboration in the Ministry of Higher Education. And in 2001, due to the great force that our provincial government has in doing this kind of international cooperation, and because of this link among all the institutions and the universities in Cuba, so we had the chance to be part of this sister cities committee, and then they reinforced the need of have academic exchange. So that's why we had time before to start relationships with U.S. institutions, and we got a long-term commitment for international development. So that's why it makes us outstanding in the leadership with U.S. universities also.
How would lifting the U.S. trade embargo against Cuba affect academic mobility between Cuba and the U.S.?
Well, imagine the blockade is, for me, the biggest challenge that we have to establish this kind of relation in long term. But I think the blockade is lifted. The relation we can high rocket in maybe in days. Because not only us have interest in this kind of relation, we know and we realize here how eager are the United States institutions to collaborate with us. I think all of us spend all our business card in 3 days and receive a pile of business cards for everyone, something like this. So we have to think very carefully about this, because I don't know if we are ready to respond to this kind of interest. But I think if the blockade is lifted, we can use dollars in transaction, we can banking, we can receive grants, we can send students in both ways, faculties, we can make joint research. So it's I don't know. The limit is the sky, I think.
What does the participation in the NAFSA conference mean to you?
Oh. Well, let me start, because I was invited three times before this to come to NAFSA, and only received visa last year, 2 days after the conference. And now I know that a lot of people from NAFSA and for other institutions help us a lot to be here today, and I want to thank them in public. And I think that, for me at least, I never imagined. I knew that this event was huge, but I never imagined the size of this. The thousands of people, this convention center that is something huge, and the relations, the warmth that they receive from the people, the friendship. So I sometimes I feel overwhelmed because everybody talk about Cubans, everybody greeting us. So it's something amazing to be here, really.
For me, it has been amazing. I was also invited last year, so we didn't get the visa. And when we did ties and we saw Marlene, Jill, and other members, Dorothea, and other members of NAFSA board coming to ties, we knew about NAFSA and we knew it was huge. But, it has been amazing for us to find that they have taken all the time to learn from us, to give us a so warm, welcoming to this stage and all their activities, that I just feel fortunate and blessed.
How can NAFSA members increase their knowledge about Cuba higher education?
I think that they are already providing the appropriate forum for people to get the possibility to exchange, not only the board, but all members. So that's a good way they have started. And I think they could also continue promoting what they do with Cuba and helping us build a network of people, collaboration for Cuba, US, and other countries interested in international education as a commonwealth and human rights.
The best advocate for the relation between Cuba and United States will be the professors that will be able to go to Cuba and establish this kind of relations. But also the NAFSA members want to know about Cuba. We have the websites of every university in Cuba, the website of the network of universities, where are all the information about the Cuban institution, the Cuban university, so they can go there and try to find the way to go to Cuba or to establish the kind of relations.
Probably they could create a place where all people going to Cuba, can reflect their experience and change, publicly accessed by everybody, not only in the U.S. but in the world.
What would you like U.S. educators to know when they're considering programs with Cuba?
I think, first of all, they have to think very carefully and answer honestly why they are doing something with Cuba, what they want, what are the goals, and speak to students very clearly about our lacks and our problems in Cuba, about almost everything, so they can be sure that they're going to go to a poor country, but with sometimes higher level of education or health than even in the United States. So this is something important to take into account. They have to deal with all the trouble to have visas and to have funding to go to Cuba, the approvals. It's something complicated, really. So they have to know in advance and planning in advance all of this.
They need to be patient also.
Yeah, of course.
For us, education is a precious resource. So we need to take the time to plan, to offer the best for you, because you really deserve the best from us. And so it's also need that you understand that we need to take time, do all the legal issues, and that also you understand that in the case of students or faculty members, once you get a visa to work with us, it's our entire responsibility that you are okay, that you have everything covered, and so we need time to plan this for giving you the best you deserve.
What else would you like NAFSA members to know about Cuba and Cienfuegos?
Well, I think that we need that NAFSA members know about Cuba, or that everybody knows about Cuba. But now Cuba is a mystery here in the United States, because there are several years the past several years where United States people can't go to Cuba because the regulation of the government of the United States. And now, maybe when you discover us again, think that, well, Cuba is like another country. But the thing we need to explain all the North American people is that we have the resolution to be free, and we have the resolution to stay in the world as all the countries in the world, and we have the delegation, and we have people in Cuba having many material things, but we have happy to stay in Cuba. And that's important that NAFSA and all the United States people come to Cuba and see.
Well,
And we also would like to let them know that we are also so much committed with Marlene's last task, to continue fighting to lift the blockade, and no matter what president, and also to continue promoting international education as a commonwealth for all the global citizens.
well, I'd like to thank you for your participation in TIES, and thank you to
So
NAFSA.
to you, Dairo.
Thank you for inviting us.
The NAFSA Cuba Engagement Initiative focuses on creating sustainable partnerships between U.S. and Cuban academic institutions. The initiative redoubles NAFSA's commitment to build a more globally engaged United States and develop new opportunities for collaboration between U.S. and Cuban international higher education leaders.